Hi, can you tell me who you are?
Hi, I'm Jenny Gleichhorn.
And Jenny, you are the business administrator for Tuckerton
Yes.
Borough in New Jersey. Tell us where Tuckerton is.
Tuckerton is about 20 miles north of Atlantic City and 10 miles south of Long Beach Township.
Okay, Long Beach Island,
Yeah.
right? And your town was one of the harder hit towns when Superstorm Sandy came through here.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what your residents have suffered here.
The storm took out 32 homes in an area called Tuckerton Beach. They're completely destroyed. There's no findings of where it went. We think it went into the bay or the lagoons. I had 280 homes completely destroyed. I had 260 homes minor destroyed and about 81 with a little bit of damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really something. You know, most folks from outside the area who read newspaper accounts of this, they read about Long Beach Island and areas of New York, but they never think about other towns like Tuckerton or read about Tuckerton.
Yeah.
But quite an impact here. So your folks are going to be experiencing a lot of the same problems that other folks do up and down on the coast where Sandy hit, in terms of rebuilding, if they can rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And those folks, what's going on today for them? I know that insurance is a big issue. And
Yes, they're trying to rebuild, but they want to rebuild based on what the standards are going to be from FEMA for base flood elevation. And FEMA hasn't been able to give a definite answer as to what height they need to go.
Now that's just to interrupt. That's the Federal Emergency Management
Yes,
Association.
exactly.
Okay. And they're setting new flood rules, basically.
They're setting new base flood elevation heights as to how high the homes need to be elevated. And they can't seem to come up with a number. So we have people who are trying to rebuild and get back into their homes but can't get a definite answer. They don't want to rebuild below a certain amount of height because the insurance companies will then charge them astronomical amount of money for flood insurance. And then people who do have flood insurance right now, they're not releasing the funds quick enough. And then once they release the funds, they're arguing with mortgage companies, if you have a mortgage, to try to release those funds even more so they can start rebuilding.
Tell us how the mortgage company comes into this.
The mortgage company comes into it because, in all essence, they own the house with you. Okay. So when the flood insurance cuts a check to the homeowners, it's made out to the homeowners and to the mortgage companies. And then the mortgage companies wants to come down and inspect to see if you really did do that type of work, or you're just, saying that you did that type of work and taking their money and run, which in most cases are not happening. They can see with all the homes that were destroyed that they need that money, and we're not. There was a report that came out from HUD. It's the federal government
Housing and Urban Development.
Yes, came in with some numbers a week or so ago saying that Tuckerton being one of the hardest hit towns in an area where it's low income, almost poverty levels. So these people need help, and they're not getting help.
Oh, wow. So it's really rough.
The other problem I'm seeing, too, is you have people that work really hard to get these houses. It's their second homes, and they're like 2 years away from retiring. They don't have flood insurance on it because they don't have a mortgage on it, and FEMA won't cover it because it's a secondary home. And now their home is gone that they wanted to retire at and sell their house up north, and now they don't have any help to help them rebuild their homes.
Very difficult time.
It is very
It must be rough for commercial ventures down here too. I guess real estate agents are not at all pleased with
real estate's really hard. I have 2 restaurants down in the Tuckerton Beach area, the Tuckerton Beach Grill and the Panini Bay. Panini Bay right now is raising like 16 feet because they need to get the revenue in for their businesses.
I think we saw them
Yes.
raised up when we were down there today. Are they going to be built right on the same spot, just elevated?
Yes. And he can't wait for the monies because what FEMA's offering right now is a hazardous mitigation program, but they're not releasing the money until they find out who qualifies. So you can't do any work until that qualification, which could be 6 to 9 months.
Wow. So when we see people working on their siding and other things down there in the area, that's either coming out of personal savings for the most part, I guess,
Yes.
or
retirement funds
or something.
savings accounts, their own pockets as they go.
And full-time residents who can't rehabilitate yet because they don't have the money, they're just, what are they doing?
They're just sitting there waiting.
Okay, very difficult.
Yeah, very difficult.
One last question for you. I appreciate your time. This is all complicated too by the fact that if people have to raise their homes to qualify for the new FEMA rules, or at least to qualify for federal insurance, all the towns up and down the Jersey coast and everywhere have their own zoning regulations on height, setback, and so on and forth. How do those two things go together? Will have to modify all your zoning rules?
No, fortunately, Tuckerton has a great construction official and helped develop a code with regards to height restrictions. So it's based on the first floor. So if you have to elevate 14 feet, it's not that the top goes shorter and the bottom gets higher. The start of the elevation, the start of the height of the peak of the roof starts at the first floor. So if you got to go up 3 additional feet, it's not that your height is going down 3 additional feet, it's going up another additional 3 feet.
And you're not running any current limit on height?
No, because there's a number on it, but the number goes from the first floor. Okay. So regardless of how high you go, it's still based on that first beam on that first floor.
Okay, well, some break there then.
Yes, yes.
Well, Jenny, we very much appreciate your time, and
Thank you.
Good luck to you and to your residents in this very difficult time lying ahead
Yes,
here.
we need all the help we can get for our residents. That is a key thing there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.